Keith is here. Oh, Jabari, excuse me. Jabari is here. Trying to admit him. There he is. Okay, so I have 10 of you. That's good stuff. Let's see. I will begin by saying that you guys are all lucky enough to be here for our presentation on conflict resolution, or just conflict in the workplace. Maybe not necessarily so much resolution. We'll talk about that a little bit, but we're going to talk kind of just openly about, I guess I would say, all the things that can perhaps set you off in the workplace. I mean, there's a host of things. I mean, when you think about the workplace, it is going to be a place where you spend probably about 60% of your waking life once you hit a certain age. So it is a time where you spend a great deal of time. Now, Mr. Skeen, in his logistics career, it was not unusual for me to sometimes show up at 7 a.m. And I hate to say it, sometimes I would be there until 7 p.m. I had some responsibility that I had to always be in touch with people about, and sometimes it didn't end until very late in the evening. Some of you may have parent and guardians that will work lots and lots of hours, and you say, how the heck do they do it? Well, they do it because that is their job. They have individuals that are counting on them to assist them in living, providing for them. They have responsibilities outside of the workplace, so they stay in the workplace to make sure that they can get things for people that are depending on them. Okay. So as a result of that, the job, it's a pretty important thing. I mean, nobody likes to be without a job. Those of you that look for jobs or would like to get a job but have not found the right job, I will say that you probably would like to have a job and get some spending money, etc., or be able to do with your money as you choose. Well, it's very important to have that job. But it's not only important just to get the job and to have the job, but it's important to keep the job as well. And you'll find that in the workplace, you're going to have lots of things that, I hate to say it, are not necessarily going to make you at times really happy. And as a result of that, you cannot just go off on your coworkers, go off on your boss, go off on your subordinates if you have people working for you. It doesn't work out well when somebody has maybe a not so positive interaction with someone else in the workplace. You get to have a conversation with somebody known as an HR manager or an HR supervisor. And a lot of times, like I said, it doesn't end well for a lot of times individuals on both sides of the conflict. I mean, there are plenty of opportunities for things and people to get under your skin in the workplace. Okay. It can happen anywhere, but when you are in a workplace, you are bound by certain rules. When you are an employee for a company, you are expected to act a certain way. Some of you that have jobs right now interact with the public. If you interact with the public in a negative manner, and it gets back to your boss, it probably will not be good things. Maybe they'll give you a warning. Maybe they'll document it and say this better not happen again. They sometimes refer to it as getting it down on paper. That's what I had one boss always say. Well, make sure you get it down on paper. So if it comes up again, we we give that person a ticket out the door. Okay, but sometimes you can really do things that are not terribly positive that can actually get you the ticket immediately out the door. We don't want to see that happen. So, conflict in the workplace. I'm going to, let's see. I guess I will take a look here, some of my notes. Okay. I mean, what sort of things do you think that you could have a conflict in the workplace about? What do you think? Somebody give me an idea. Throw something out.
Like if they mess up on something at work and they want to
Yeah, I
blame the
mean,
other person.
yeah, I mean, you get into, I mean, people make mistakes. They make mistakes, and a lot of times in workplaces, you've got individuals working in groups. And when something falls flat because of someone else's screw up, you're not going to be terribly happy with that individual because it's not going to look well on you either. Now, you can tell your boss, well, this, and this, I was expecting this person to do this and they didn't do it. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't really cut it in the workplace. I mean, if you are stuck together in a team and your team flops on some sort of a project, some sort of expectation, it probably will not be terribly good for you or for the team in general. So a lot of times you get into a lot of finger pointing. I mean, if you know that one of your coworkers has let you down on a particular project and has somehow gotten you in trouble, you're going to feel not so positively towards that coworker. And I hate to say it, if you're spending 60% of your blessed time of life in the workplace, guess what? You are probably going to you're probably going to see this person a bunch, and they're going to be on your nerves. You're always going to look at that person, and you are going to trying to let Akerson in. Akerson, can you hear me right now? Yeah. Okay. So um, let's see who's saying my internet went out. Brandon Frazier. Okay, Brandon. Okay. Let me send Brandon a note real quick. Try to get in. Okay, so yeah, I mean conflicts over failed issue. I mean people messing up, and a lot of times it getting pinned on you inadvertently. Okay, how about anything else? Anyone else want to throw something out that you might have? I mean, those of you that have had jobs or have jobs, I mean, is there anything that your coworkers might do that perhaps causes conflict? Silence.
Well, I was, but I haven't had that problem yet. So
Okay. Well, okay. So, I mean, yeah, there's a host of things that that can cause conflict, and again, we'll just kind of talk generally about some of the things because there's a whole lot of them. Okay. I mean, a lot of times in workplaces, just like anywhere else, there are limited resources. Okay. So it's not, I guess, unusual for coworkers to fight over resources. Okay. There's always limited resources in whatever you do. And I mean, maybe you can think of it that if there is some sort of a video game that you have to share with a sibling, there is some, I don't know, maybe some of you will be at some point borrowing a car. Maybe some of you will be expected to share a container of cereal, and lo and behold, it's not shared equitably. Okay. There's all sorts of fighting over resources in the workplace, whether it be paper for a copier, whether it's a time for a particular meeting, but resources, I mean, they can create conflicts between sometimes even the best of coworkers. Okay, you've got different types of people in the workplace and their work styles. Okay, they're different. Everybody is different. Okay, some people they really like to be organized. Other people, not so much. Okay, I'm not saying one is better than the other. Being organized is great in the workplace. It's not ever going to cause you problems to be overly organized. But I will tell you, there are some people that take it to a whole new level. And I'll just tell you that there are some people that want to be able to have absolutely every last minute detail planned. So if that's the case, I mean, it's very easy to conflict with those types of individuals. Okay. So, I mean, different types of work styles is definitely something that pops up. I mean, there might be differences in something like perceptions. Okay, I mean, we all see things differently. I mean, coworkers, hopefully, they understand this, but I mean, a lot of times, people have different views about things. Okay, differences in perception can cause conflicts fueled by maybe gossip or what you might refer to as turf wars. Okay, there are certain things that sometimes people say, that's my responsibility. I am taking care of this responsibility. Back off. I've got it. Leave it be. I've got this. Okay. Conflicting perceptions, I mean, they can oftentimes cause politics in the workplace to emerge. Okay. A lot of times in workplaces, you'll get individuals that are aligned with certain members of management. Okay. Or there might be rivalries between different work groups. Okay. And do you align yourself with one boss? I mean, there's always different bosses in workplaces, and you are really behind this boss. You like the way this boss does things, and you're really a big backer of that boss. Well, all of a sudden, you've got another boss telling you something different, and then all of a sudden, you say, "Well, I know my boss wouldn't do this, and I know that this guy is a boss, but I'm not necessarily going to really listen to him." Okay, it's all sorts of things that can cause conflict, and you can sometimes get yourself in the middle of stuff that you're not even really trying to get in the middle of. But I mean, this whole idea of office politics is something that definitely occurs in the workplace. Good or bad, it's there. Okay. You might have conflicting goals. Okay. There's goals galore in every single workplace. Okay. Whether it be servicing X number of customers, whether it be getting X amount of sales, whether it be dealing with particular projects and getting them done and having them just so. I mean, a lot of times I'll tell you that um, let's see, let me get everybody in here. Um, so I mean, yeah, there's definitely conflicting goals. Goals, I mean, they're going to obviously conflict with each other. If your boss says the turnaround time on some particular project that you're involved with is critical, but you say that in order to do it, it really requires in-depth and high-quality work that you have to do. If the boss is saying, "I need it now, I need it now, I need it now, I need it now, I need it now," and you're saying, "Wait a second, I can't do it right now. I've got to spend a lot of time on this in order to do it right." Okay, conflict could definitely definitely come about because of these types of directives from bosses and how you feel that something should be done. Maybe it's in conflict. You feel that there's one way to do something, and the boss is just saying, just get it done. I need it done fast. And that's going to cause issues because as soon as you're hearing from this boss that he needs it now, you're probably going to go and talk to some of your coworkers and saying, this guy is nuts. Okay, he wants it now, but I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this. And some coworkers will agree with you, yeah, and that's I totally agree with you. But then you got other coworkers that say, yeah, he's right. Just crank it out, just knock it out, get it done, move on. Okay, you're probably going to say, well, to heck with you. I'm doing it my way. Okay. So, there's conflicts in terms of that. There are times when conflicts occur between maybe department goals. Okay. You might be in a certain department and your goal is to do this, but maybe the overall organization is wanting you to accomplish something else. Organizations should have goals that all match up in perfect harmony, but that doesn't always happen. I'd love to say that everything is just absolutely perfect and totally aligned correctly, but it doesn't happen. Okay. Conflicts like these can cause a lot of times confusion in the workplace. One boss telling you one thing, another boss telling you another thing. There's confusion. And when you're kind of caught in the middle, you're obviously going to feel resentment. Okay. You're not going to like it. And as a result of that, you could start to have your attitude in the workplace be very different all of a sudden. Okay. Walking around with a lot of resentment in the workplace, definitely not a good thing. Another thing that you might be talking about would be conflicting deadlines. No one likes to be, I guess, held up when a job has to get done. You want something done, I want to get it done. Okay. But sometimes there are different activities that have the same deadline with only one person that can do the job. Sometimes conflicts can erupt because of something like that. If I am somebody that is always, if there are just certain things that have to be done my way, or they have to go through me as an employee, I'll tell you, there's only so much that sometimes one person can do, and sometimes it's problematic when all of a sudden you have got different people. I guess really, yeah. There's only so much that one person can do. So, if both tasks they're urgent, the situation definitely would probably create pressure, which can then boil over into maybe major conflicts between coworkers. Okay, you want someone to get something done. I can't do my part, buddy, until you get your stuff done. Hurry up. Okay, and the person saying, hey, I've got a bunch of other things I need to do besides just your work. I got to do work for not only you, but three other people. Okay, you're going to have to take a back seat. Okay, you're not going to like to hear somebody, one of your coworkers, telling you you got to take a back seat when you've got pressure and you've got deadlines that are stacking up. Okay, occasionally you may ask people to do something that are beyond their responsibilities. Okay, you work for me, and all of a sudden I want you to do something to maybe be helping out this other person who might be lagging behind. Okay, and sometimes that's not necessarily, I guess, what anybody wants to have happen. But you're going to obviously say, boss, this Eric guy, man, he's asking me to help out Fred over here. But Fred, he is, gosh, Fred needs to do his own work. Okay, I got tons of stuff to do myself. I'm not doing Fred's work. Okay, nobody likes that sort of thing, but yeah, it's the sort of thing that happens. Okay, if you, or if I say, okay, I'm going to have you help out help out Fred. If Fred doesn't want help, if I see Fred getting behind and then all of a sudden I send Ian over to help out Fred, I mean, obviously, let's just say who can I use as an example here? Okay, let's just say that Shaylee, she's lagging behind on some important project. Okay, I say, Ian, I'm going to need you to go over there and help her out. She's buried. I totally understand why she's buried, but Ian, I need you to go over there and help her. Okay, now. Even if I told Shaylee, I'm going to have Ian come over and help you out. Okay. I'm going to have Ian come on over and help you out because I know you've got a lot of work and I totally understand it, Shaylee, but I'm just going to have Ian come on over and give you a hand. Even if I explain it to Shaylee that way, Shaylee's not going to be too terribly happy. Okay. She's not going to be happy with me. Okay. Unless she is totally wired in a way that, oh, yes, I will take any help that I can get. And some people are like that. Other times, individuals may all of a sudden say, oh, the boss doesn't think I can get it done. And he sends over Ian. I don't need Ian's help. Okay. Ian's kind of caught in the middle. I mean, Shaylee probably not going to be too terribly happy with Ian. Okay. I'm expecting Ian to go over there. Shaylee doesn't really want to be working with Ian. Ian knows that in order to do what I have asked him, all of a sudden, Ian's not really able to help Shaylee because she's saying, this is my job. Leave me alone, Ian. I got this. Okay. I'm going to say, hey, Ian, we're still not getting anything done on this project that Shaylee's working on. Why aren't you, what have you done so far to help her out? And then Ian all of a sudden will say, well, she didn't really want my help. And so I just kind of let her do her thing. Okay. Well, all of a sudden now I'm thinking, well, Ian, that's not what I told you to do. Sure, I'll go talk to Shaylee again, but then all of a sudden I'm not going to be happy with Ian. Okay. So, I mean, these sorts of things that happen in terms of deadlines and sending individuals to help other people, I mean, it can definitely cause co-workers to feel some animosity or not liking their co-workers. Even though me as the boss, my best intentions were to get Shaylee some help, Shaylee didn't see that she didn't see it that way at all. Okay. Another thing that there might be conflict over would be like maybe differing types of ethics. Okay. Everybody, they are very different, but I mean, occasionally you have to ask someone to do something that may conflict with his or her value system. Okay. Now, I'm not talking lots of moral types of things. No boss that is a good boss would ask you to do something that is immoral. Okay, although I've been asked many a times to do things that's not really perhaps in the best interest, sometimes with customers, sometimes with employees, with a whole lot of things. So all of a sudden I think, well, that's not the right way to treat a person. If I've got a boss telling me, I need you to do this and it needs to happen right now, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not the way to do things. That's not how I like to treat people. That's not how I like to treat the customer. I don't like to cut corners, but the boss is telling me to do this. Okay, so I mean, you may have a totally different type of value system, and it can create a big type of conflict, whether it's just you personally struggling with it, but it can definitely cause conflict. Okay, you might talk to your boss and say, hey, I totally disagree with you telling me to do this. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's the boss may say, "Okay, I see how you are. I see how you are. I'm asking you to do something, and you're gonna defy me. I need you to get something done, and you've decided that you can't do it. You think differently than me in terms of getting this done, and as a result, you're not going to do what I want you to do." That's what it's going to come down to in that boss's mind if he's telling me to do that. And then all of a sudden I say, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. That's going to cause issues between my relationship with him, his relationship with me. And then all of a sudden, maybe I talk to some of my coworkers, and then I get all sorts of people fired up about it. And it just causes general conflict. Okay. At work, heads will oftentimes be banging when it comes to lots of um, personal values that they may hold, whether they be religious, moral, or there's all sorts of things that can cause conflict when people have differing types of ethics. Okay, when we talk about doing the right thing for people, I mean, I totally am a believer in that. But I mean, I have been asked to do things that totally conflict with my personal value system. Okay, I mean, just to give you an example, being in charge of large distribution centers, ultimately, my success is driven by how efficient the operation is running overall. And sometimes when I strive for efficiency in the operation, it can cause all sorts of problems. I might be causing individuals to stay over late to do work, and I know that there are certain things that they are trying to accomplish outside of work that all of a sudden they have to set to the side, things that they feel very strongly about. And here I am saying, well, I need you to do this. I need you to complete this. Okay. I don't like doing that, but I mean, sometimes I'm struggling personally with the overall goals of me as an employer versus how I perhaps feel individuals may view that type of a decision and how it actually impacts them. Okay. So, I mean, it's a different thing. I mean, additionally, there might be conflicts that might come about because of miscommunication. Okay. Organizations, they oftentimes change workplace policies. And I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, you'd love to say you go into a workplace and nothing changes. You go in and you just do it. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I mean, it's oftentimes a case where a lot of times you have to pivot or you change on the fly. Hang on just a second. Mr. Bryson? Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, so yeah, I mean, organizations. I mean, things change. Okay, and if you are a person that doesn't like to have things change, I mean, you go into the workday and you say, I mean, maybe at the beginning, I have a meeting with you at the beginning of the day, you and several of your coworkers, and I'm going to say, okay, we're going to really focus on this today. We're going to focus on this one thing today. And then all of a sudden, 3 hours later, after I've heard from several customers that all of a sudden make something else totally unrelated to what I just told you was the priority, all of a sudden, I mean, I might ask you as employees to all of a sudden change your focus. Okay. And that's not going to maybe set well with some people. I mean, it might cause some people to say, this Eric guy, man, he needs to get his work, he needs to get it straight. I mean, he tells us one thing and then all of a sudden something's different. Okay, now I might be able to say, well, now all of a sudden we've got certain customers talking that they want their orders today and they don't all of a sudden match up with what I told you originally. And then all of a sudden, these differing priorities all of a sudden now are the number one priority. Got to get these things done first, and everything else is now going to go to the side. I mean, you guys, you're not going to terribly enjoy me changing things up on you. Okay. You're not going to enjoy that. I mean, I can try to explain it, but still, you're not going to like it. Okay. And I mean, you think about it even more. If you guys are supervisors and I'm the manager and I'm telling you guys, okay, here's now the priority. I mean, I'm gonna hopefully. I mean, it's not really your responsibility to tell maybe hourly workers to, okay, well, we're changing paths because the manager that's in charge here, this Eric guy, he's getting a lot of heat from some of these customers. I mean, maybe the employees will understand that. Maybe they won't. They'll just see it that they're getting jerked around by me and then by you, the supervisor, as well. Okay, so I mean, there's definitely going down the path of conflict there. I mean, conflict, it oftentimes occurs when managers fail to apply policies consistently, okay, over every single person and every single workers, okay. There might be reasons for it. Maybe someone in the workplace, maybe Akron, all of a sudden is. I know that there are certain things going on in Akron's life that I need to consider with his job and how he does stuff at work. And maybe I don't know, maybe Brandon doesn't realize that there's some things that I'm taking into consideration with Akron. All Brandon knows is that, man, Skeen is treating Akron differently than he's treating me, and that makes me really upset. I don't like that. And I'm going to hold that against Skeen because he's just not treating me. I mean, he lets stuff with Akron. He lets Akron get away with stuff that I don't get away with. Okay. I mean, applying things differently can definitely cause animosity or dislike of how things are going. And definitely there is conflict. Okay. So, I mean, there's a couple of, I mean, there's some things that I've rattled off there that can cause conflict, but there's just countless things in the workplace. I mean, little tiny petty things that you're dealing with some of your coworkers on can turn into massive issues because of things that you, I mean, you just see things differently. Conflict, okay? And unless you handle things very well, I mean, you can get yourself into a lot of situations that you don't want to be in. Okay. I guarantee you, I mean, you're going to be put on the spot for a lot of things that you really don't want. I mean, you're going to get stuck in the middle of stuff and you don't want to be stuck in the middle of it. Okay. Let me ask you a couple questions here just to kind of throw out some scenarios. Okay. Let's see. I'll ask you a question. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Okay. This is something kind of school related. Okay. You sign up for a school fundraiser. Okay. Because you're way too busy. Or wait a second, you don't sign up for a school fundraiser because you're way too busy. Way too busy. Okay. But then someone from the school says, hey, I hate to bother you, Casey, but I noticed here that you didn't sign up for the fundraiser. You know, everyone else has signed up for the fundraiser, Casey, and you didn't sign up for it. I'm going to need you to sign up for it. We could really use your help. Do you think you could really sign up? Okay.
Mr. Skeen, I have a question. Have you ever seen Office Space?
I have seen Office Space, The Office. And I mean, there's all sorts. I mean, if I can somehow, yeah, I mean, there's these shows that are about the workplace. I mean, The Office, Office Space. I mean, there's all these shows that, I mean, you guys have probably watched. How many people watch The Office? How many people have ever seen that show? Raise your hand if you've ever seen that show. Okay, raise your hand up. Okay, raise them up if you've ever seen a show called The Office. It was a show on NBC. It's rather common for people to binge watch these things. They're out on all sorts of streaming services. They're kind of funny. I mean, but you think to yourself, oh, there's no way that stuff like this happens in the workplace. Give me a break. Okay. I mean, it's funny, but you're just thinking to yourself, there is no way this sort of stuff actually goes on. Guess what? It actually does. It does. If you've ever watched shows or movies about people interacting in the workplace, and there's all sorts of screwy scenarios, or bosses that are quirky, or coworkers that are quirky and weird, guess what? It's all too common. You don't have any choice when you come into the workplace of who you get to work with. And especially when you're the new person in a workplace, guess what? You are surrounded by all these people that are totally different from you. Okay. You probably, if you chose to work with some of these people, you would say, no, I would never choose to be this person's friend. But all of a sudden, you're stuck working with someone who's the total opposite of you. I'll just tell you that that is definitely something that occurs, and I will say that, yeah, I mean, stuff that you, yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between being a coworker and being a friend with someone. And I guarantee you, there is a totally different mindset or a dynamic between individuals that are friends versus coworkers. It's great if you can be a friend of a coworker, but I hate to say it, a lot of times you're not going to be friends. And sometimes if you are friends and then all of a sudden some sort of a conflict arises, uh-oh, guess what? It's a problem. Okay. I mean, all of these very different people all of a sudden descend from the tri state area, different backgrounds, different beliefs, and they all descend on one workplace. It's just a big jumble of people. And then all of a sudden, I tell you that you guys have to work together to achieve some sort of a common goal. Okay, it's an interesting dynamic in the workplace, and everybody needs to just consider the fact that people are different. I mean, none of you guys. I mean, a couple of you said that you knew each other or had seen each other, but I mean, this type of a scenario that you guys are all coming from different high schools and you're all going to get dumped into one place. Scheme will probably force you to work together periodically. Okay. And you're not going to like the person. You don't know the person. And you're maybe not going to work too well together. Okay. But in the workplace, that's just how it is. Okay. So let's go back to our fundraising scenario here. Okay. I mean, what do you do once that person hits you up and says, Ian, I need you to sign up? Do you think you really could? Okay. I mean, what do you do? Maybe they sent you an email asking you this. Okay. What are you going to do? Are you going to maybe delete the email and pretend you never received it? Okay. Are you then going to all of a sudden say, oh, sure, I'll be happy to do it? You'll figure it out somehow. Okay. I guess I'll just throw it onto my endless list of things that I need to do. Okay. Maybe you decide to try to reason with this person and send them back a really detailed email. It's saying, okay, well, I'm doing this for school, I'm doing this for school, and then I'm doing this for school. You asking me to be a part of this fundraiser is just nuts. I can't do it. Okay. Maybe you say, I'm just swamped. Okay. But maybe there's something else you can help me help the school out. Maybe I can't be full blown fundraiser person, but yeah, maybe I can do something else. Okay. Or maybe you try to explain that you're sorry, but you really can't. You'd be happy to maybe spread the word to other people. Okay. I mean, there's some different scenarios how Ian might respond to that pesky coworker that is overseeing the school fundraiser. I mean, all of them are rather different. Okay. Very different types of a way. I mean, you got some of them where you just say, I'm just going to delete the email and I'm just going to pretend it never happened. Okay. Let's see. I mean, how many people have ever been responsible for babysitting? Anybody ever been responsible for babysitting? Okay. I mean, it could be babysitting. I mean, it's definitely different when you're babysitting you're babysitting like a neighbor's kid or something like that versus a sibling. Okay, when you're babysitting a sibling or something like that, I mean, it's a parent or a guardian saying, "Okay, I'm going to need you to watch little Johnny here, and I'm going to expect you to do this." I mean, maybe they tell you. I mean, it's just different with a sibling. But maybe I'm the next door neighbor and I said, okay, Logan, I'm asking you to watch over little Johnny here. And Johnny, he can do just about anything. He can go out and play in the side yard, but I don't want him leaving the house, and I definitely don't want him on any sort of technology, Logan. Okay, can you handle that, Logan? And Logan's going to say, yep, I got you. I got you. Okay. So 2, 3 hours later, I come home and I walk in, or I pull into the drive or the parking lot, and I see little Johnny. Or no, maybe I don't see little Johnny. I see little Johnny. His bike is there. Little Johnny's not outside. I walk in, and there's Logan sitting in a chair, and little Johnny's in front of the old Xbox, doing exactly what I did not want Logan to have little Johnny doing. Okay, what am I going to feel like as the person that's all of a sudden paying Logan all of a sudden? How am I going to react to that? Am I going to maybe just fume or be mad to myself? But then I'll just say, well, that's the last time I'm ever using Logan. Okay. Maybe I'm just going to assume that Logan maybe just needed a little bit of downtime. He just couldn't keep little Johnny occupied outside. And I'll just say, we're just going to let it slide. Even though I told Logan I don't want screen time, but doggone it, I'm just going to let it slide. Okay, I guess I'll still use Logan. Logan's a pretty responsible young man. I'm going to probably use him again. I'm just going to let it slide. Okay, maybe I walk in and I'm not in the best of mood. I turn the TV off, and all of a sudden I start yelling at Logan. Logan, this is unacceptable. Okay, maybe that's how I decide to handle it as the person that's paying Logan. Okay, maybe I go in, maybe I don't go in and start screaming, but maybe I start to then interrogate Logan and I say, Logan, why is the TV on? Why is little Johnny watching TV when I said specifically no screen time? Logan, what's going on? What is the deal? Okay. Um, Maybe, heck, I don't know. Maybe I say, Logan, I, I don't really feel that I can trust you now. I mean, I asked you to do something, you didn't do it. I mean, is there anything that you can possibly tell me right now that might change that? Is there anything I don't understand? Maybe try and dig in a little bit deeper and give Logan an opportunity to respond back. What was the rationale? Maybe there's a perfectly good reason. Maybe Logan was at his wits' end with little Johnny, and little Johnny was threatening to run 3 blocks away. And Logan specifically knew that he didn't want it to happen that way. So anyway, yeah, so I mean, there's all sorts of different ways that conflict can be dealt with, but I mean, there's all sorts of ways. And I mean, every once in a while, I mean, in this show, the Office, the boss, you can tell that he's read all sorts of these books that tell bosses how to manage people. But I mean, some of the stuff is coming literally um, from these types of books that tell people how to do things in the workplace. Okay, I mean sometimes. Let me give you a couple of categories that you, as a boss or a person dealing with conflict, and you can kind of picture yourself on how you might necessarily deal with conflict. Anybody feels like they want to chime in at any point and say, "Yeah, I think that's me." Okay, so the first one is the avoider. The name doesn't really sound awesome, but let's talk about the avoider. Okay, maybe you don't sweat the small stuff, and you take time to think before you speak. Okay, it's great. That's a great way to go, but ignoring things perhaps altogether, it's maybe not the healthy thing to go, and it can get you into some trouble. Okay, maybe perhaps yeah. I mean, ignoring a problem is probably not the best way to go. You want to speak up when it matters, rather than letting little tiny things slide. It can sometimes grow into bigger, sometimes unresolvable things. Okay, another thing might be being somebody who is an accommodator. Okay, somebody who likes to make everything work. Okay, you're somebody that can see another person's point of view. That's awesome. That's awesome that you can see someone else's point of view. But you need to realize that you personally have a point of view. Okay, you need to express it, because if you're not expressing your opinion when you should be, I mean, pretty much you're going to have all of this resentment inside of you. And all of a sudden, you are going to be somebody that has got an axe to grind eventually against someone. Okay. How about another one? Somebody who is the competitor. Somebody who's the competitor. Okay. You're somebody that's a winner. You're probably somebody that, if I looked at you, you're probably the last person that they might get taken advantage of. That's great. Okay, it's awesome. But just realize that being that winner, and sometimes always being able to convince others you're right, maybe doesn't actually make you right. Okay, sometimes, I mean, you've got to take other people's viewpoints into account. I mean, you've got to listen to them. You've got to learn things. If you're the type of employee that is always going to be right, guess what? You're going to be making enemies left and right, and perhaps a great, promising career at a particular workplace is just not going to be something that is going to perhaps be in your future. Okay. You might also be somebody who's a compromiser. Okay. You're very considerate. You're willing to sacrifice for the common good. Okay. But realize also that everybody is giving things up. Okay, when you compromise, everybody is giving up a little bit of something. And sometimes your thought that a really awesome compromise has been struck, it really is nothing more than multiple parties or multiple people being all of a sudden upset. Okay, if you're the boss that has figured out this great solution to this problem, you have found a compromise, and both people, they shake their head and say, "Okay, yeah, that's how we're doing it." They're going to walk away and they're going to be rolling their eyes that you, the boss, this guy who is the great compromiser, has all of a sudden made other individuals not so happy. Okay, it might be a compromise, but still, not everybody is warm and fuzzy. Okay, You might also be perhaps the collaborator. You are somebody that's just going to take everything into account. You're going to listen really well. You're very creative. You can come up with solutions. You're a team player. Okay? You're also, however, very confident in your own opinion. Okay? Try to be patient with the people who conflict management doesn't really come so naturally. I mean, if you're one of these people that is big into collaboration and you can come up with solutions, I mean, just realize that everything the other people around you, they may not be that type of person. They are really entrenched in how they think things are going to be. Okay, and it's important to sometimes just let things go. You don't need to have some great, wonderful solution to something. Okay? So, I mean, conflict in the workplace, we can talk about it endlessly, but I definitely want to make sure that people can realize. And I mean, when I describe all these different people from different backgrounds, different parts of the tri state, all descending into one location, and then all of a sudden you're forced to work with them and you are forced to succeed with them. It's difficult. It's very difficult and it is a challenge. Okay? So, um, yeah, I mean, if you were here in person, I generally have all sorts of little acting types of roles that you can do. We could make Jennifer working with, I don't know, working with Hassenfratz, and they could act out some little vignette that would give us all an example of how we would personally handle things. But I mean, I'll just tell you, I mean, that we're all so very different. We all tackle things differently. And that's not right and that's not wrong. But if you sometimes work unconstructively with your coworkers, ultimately that can cause problems for not only them, but for you as well. Okay, and like I said, I don't want little tiny things bringing down very bright careers of people. And if I have supervisors and managers working for me, I want to talk to those individuals and make sure that they realize sometimes how other people are perceiving them. Okay, so it's very common for all of us to go into these workplaces, think we got it all wired down, we are good to go, we know what's going on, we're going to take care of business. And lo and behold, if we can't work with other people and get along with them, and there's all sorts of conflict on how we are dealing with things, I'll just say it's going to be a long day every single day in the workplace, and it's going to be a place that you don't want to come to. Okay. There have been plenty of jobs that Mr. Skeen has had during the course of his life that no matter how close I may have been to that job, I mean, I've had jobs where I've had to travel 40, 45 minutes one direction to go work at. I've worked at other places where I've been like 5 minutes away at. Okay. But whatever the case, if you don't like where you are working or you don't like the environment that you are in, it can be some of the longest travel time. Even if it's just 5 minutes away, that dread that you feel. And I'll just tell you, I mean, being in a workplace where there is lots of conflict or you feel that you are constantly conflicting with your coworkers is just going to be a bad situation to be in. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. But conflict, it's a fact of life, and dealing with it is important. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to stop there just to touch on a couple of things. Okay. Tomorrow, okay, I have everybody on here, and I do want to make sure that I hear everybody's voice at this point. Okay. Casey, do you hear me right now? Okay, raise your hand
Yeah.
now if you can actually just raise your hand systematically if you hear me talking right this very second. Okay, and leave it raised up. Okay, leave it on. Okay. Jennifer Shaley, raise your hand up for me. At this point, I am feeling that if you are not raising your hand or you are not sending me a text right now saying that you are having some sort of internet issue, that you are not listening to me at the moment. Okay? Raise that fictional hand right there. Okay, so I'm going to take a little screenshot right now, and these are the individuals that are listening to me right now. Okay, now I will tell you tomorrow. I am going to ask that we are going to beginning we are going to begin, or I'm going to give you an opportunity during our specific time together, and that is essentially from 8 a.m. until, I don't know, 10:30-ish, 10:45-ish, okay? And I am going to come on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Going to come on tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and we are going to be doing the CERT. Let me say that again. We are going to be doing the CERT, okay? There's probably a collective groan right now. We're not going to be doing all of the CERT, but we are going to be doing 2 segments of it. 2 segments of it, and then we will probably be doing a little bit more, the final 2 segments, next week, okay? I personally think that this is advantageous as opposed to having all 4 segments of it rammed down your throat at once. During the time tomorrow, I will be available with somebody who can help you with any sort of technological glitches, but I do want one of you to be prepared. Get I would say some rest. Don't stay up until dark 30. Okay, but we are going to be doing 2 parts of the CERT tomorrow. Okay, 2 parts of the CERT tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to be following up with individuals that I do not see their hands up and that they are not currently texting me saying they have technical glitches. I am going to be talking to those. Oh, wait a second. I just got a Tiana or a T hand raise. Okay. Thank you, Tiana, or thank you, T. Okay. Keep your hands up. There you go, Scott. Don't take them down. Okay. So I'm going to follow up with a couple of you. I guess Von Honey and Ms. Shaley. I will talk to them. But all of you, get some rest. This span that you theoretically would be here at Ignite, that time period is not a time when your other teachers are hopefully having you do stuff. I need to know if any of you are having something that has to happen during that time tomorrow between 8 and 10:30. Between 8 and 10:30, okay? Again, I'll mention to you tomorrow. I mean, take your time with it, because unfortunately sometimes not taking your time with it and making bad mistakes are going to actually be causing you extra work, okay, in terms of all sorts of remediation types of exercises. Try your hardest, do your best. That's what I'll be asking. So tomorrow at 8 a.m., I am going to be on, and I'm going to go through a little bit of an explanation. I might even just make a video and send it out to each and every one of you. Shaylee, you are with me, and you hear what I have been talking about the CERT, okay? We are going to be doing that tomorrow, okay? But only 2 blocks of it, okay? The remainder we will knock out next week, Okay, we have to have it knocked out by the end of the month. So we're going to knock out 2 during our time together tomorrow. There is not going to be any sort of homework tomorrow. I want you to get a good night's rest, come in clear headed. Maybe even, well, I mean, you're taking the cert. I guess you could take you could be eating a bowl of cereal as you take the cert, but I mean, get yourself awake. Okay, I want you to do this. And if there is somewhere that you can go or shoo a sibling out, try to do that. I know that might be difficult to have that actually accomplished, but try your best to get somebody or get somewhere that you can actually work. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I thank everybody for enduring this. I went longer than I generally do, but I appreciate everybody tuning in today. I'll be happy to stay on the line, answer any sorts of questions about anything that we talked about today, anything we talked about yesterday, or anything cert related today. But I will remain on the line. But at this point, all of you may drop